Am I reviewing another Mandalorian figure? Yes. Yes, I am. Heyo, in a quest to find the best Mandalorian figure, I purchased another Mandalorian figure. I've reviewed a few different figures, including one from Mafex before. Well, this one is version 2.0. I'm hopeful it's the best. First off, looking at what's in the box. The box is a standard Mafex design, and one of the first things you notice is that it is loaded with accessories. More on that in a bit. Look at all those hands. Checking out the design and the sculpt. The look of this figure is very good. The biggest complaint I've seen people make about the design is the visor being too thin. But I really don't mind that. I think it looks cool, and it's definitely better than having a visor that's too thick. Even in just this standing vanilla pose, he is a beast. I love his look. Moving into the articulation, we start to see the big flaw. He is very limited. The elbows are single jointed and do not have much range. He is able to touch his head though. The shoulder pads and hip pads move easily, which is a plus. That helps with the range of motion, and surprisingly, he can do the splits. If you saw my review of the first Mafex Mandalorian, it was positive at first, but then I did a follow-up to it because his leg broke. I was hoping to see a different joint here for the knee, but it does look pretty much the same. The problem was where the peg connects to the lower leg. It's really thin, and that's the part that snapped. There is no hip swivel. He has a good bend, but probably the lamest articulation is the ab crunch. Not only can it not bend much, but he hardly turns. It might turn more than I'm showing, but I really don't want to force it and break it. So maybe later on I'll experiment more with trying to loosen him up there. Throwing his cape into the articulation, it is wired, and so it can be posed pretty well. It does seem a little bulky at first, but it's good enough to be posed, and it's good enough to lay flats. You just kind of have to work with it a little, but I do really like how it tucks into the armor. Now moving on to one of the biggest pluses. As I mentioned before, he is loaded with accessories. He's got everything. I do really like that he comes with this extra helmet that has the light, and the face sculpt looks pretty solid. We have a new Grogu. I feel like this might be the best 112 looking Grogu. He does have some articulation too, which their version 1 did not have any. Also, he comes with this bagged version of Grogu. His classic pistol is not pink. There's a few pieces that connect to the gauntlets. I like the idea of these, but also have potential to be annoying. When I was messing around with him and posing, they fell off numerous times, and not a huge thing, but like I said, just kind of annoying. One theme with some of the accessories will be over-engineering, and the gauntlet pieces don't have that problem, but maybe they should have. We have the flamethrower, which looks good, a grappling hook that feels pretty fragile, and these whistling birds. The jetpack is kind of funny because you need to remove the back piece on Din and then apply the jetpack with its own back piece. And it does come with these flame effects. Overall, it looks good. There's a knife, but no place to store it. It should be stored in his boot, but there's already a knife that's sculpted there. We have a darksaber hilt, and then another darksaber hilt with the blade connected. Compared to the Black Series darksaber, it does have some extra detail, and I do like that. The Beskar spear. And the final weapon, or weapons, are the phase pulse rifles. Yes, there's two. One of them has this little strap, and that is the one that you use when slinging it onto Mando. There's also the electric effect that connects to the rifle. When I was attempting to sling the rifle, it was very annoying. The strap part was easy, but then there's this little piece in the back that you swap out to put the rifle through. It doesn't stay on well though. I did get it, but I probably won't be posing with him like that much. And onto the hands, there's 10 pairs of hands. Most of them are pretty standard designs with the fists and the grabbing hands. But one difference that I did like is that there are multiple trigger finger hands. One of them for like the basic pistol, but then you have the other that's a little bit different for the rifle. Since when you grab the rifle, there's like a lower angle to it. It is a really big difference, and I like it. Can't forget about the stand. Comparing his size and look to other figures, we have the newest Black Series Mandalorian, which their design was definitely a huge upgrade. He has a great look and decent articulation, and nothing really to beat out the look of the new Mafex, but a good second option if you can't get this Mafex version, because obviously it is limited with the accessories. And then there's the SH Figure Arts version, which is also their 2.0, and I don't really like him anymore. He does have a tad more articulation, but I really just like his helmet and the design and just the size of it. Comparing him to the original Mafex version, which mine did break and the helmet is somewhere else, they look pretty similar. My biggest question is if these pegs in the knee joint are any better. Hopefully a little thicker and more sturdy. I guess I'll find out soon. This newer version is also shinier, or at least the one thigh plate that's cleaned up is. But it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but he does have like a little bit, like it just looks a little more metal to me, which is cool. He looks good next to the Black Series Rex and the Black Series Cad Bane, which is the Book of Boba Fett version. Also, he matches well with the SH Figure Arts Boba Fett. And looks as good as he should next to the Beast Kingdom Mandalorian. In case you're wondering how he looks compared to a Marvel Legends Miles or SH Figure Arts Goku, pretty solid. And lastly, looking at Grogu compared to the SH Figure Arts Grogu, I do love the cloth of the SHF one, but his face was always a little bit off. The color was kind of off. And this Mafex, like his face looks so good. The color looks so good. Is he the best 1/12 Grogu? Let me know in the comments. Type Mafex or SH Figure Arts Grogu. Overall, I'm really impressed with this Mandalorian. I do plan on using my old Mafex Mandalorian to try to make a custom version, which might become my definitive Mandalorian. But until then, this new Mafex will be my main Mando to use in photos. Stay tuned for some new pics.